It is time for the qualifiers for the Challenge Series World Championship. That is too much slide on my mouth. The World Championship or whatever. Surprisingly, we only actually have one Japanese round in the qualifiers. It is very awkward with this category. The 750 class is the second smallest. It's only ahead of the 525 class. And it's also really really hampered by the fact that we are not able to allow race cars into the championship, or even cars with engine swaps from race cars. So like Gina's RX-7 has a 787B engine in it. That thing would have the fuel economy of the 787B as a result, or relatively close to it anyway. And since the first race of the championship is going to be the Brightest Night in Tokyo, which is a 45-minute endurance race, we can't be having that. So that brings already relatively small category down to, I think we figured out there was like 53 cars that could actually, enter this championship. So it's a little bit of an exclusive list, I suppose, because of that. We are away from Autopolis, as is the singular Japanese race this week. Yeah, I didn't make any mention of where we are, just what we're doing. But yeah, this is Autopolis, 6 laps. It's going to be even on the longer side for qualifying races. Now, this will probably take us over 11 minutes of race time, because this track's average speeds aren't super high. Wanda Glass started second, immediately took the lead, and is, at the moment, driving away with it by a significant margin. June Summers behind her in the 2018 Vantage, not quite keeping the pace, and I think she's kind of backing up everyone else as a result. Eric Wojciechowski is the Focus car. He started last. He's slowly trying to make some progress up the field. He's surrounded by many a Corvette. There's 5 Corvettes in your picture. All of them on Urban Estate Motorsports. None of them getting any help with the starting grid random generation. There's a 6th one not too far up the road either, in Russell Wagner. Jump to the end of lap 1. Well, Jacaranta was in the last transfer spot. He is going to slip past Reiko Mishima to put her in that position. And our POV car is currently fighting for 9th against... No, that's not a mistake. That is Emmy Angelos in that car. That is a driver swap. Normally, Emmy drives the GTR LM Nismo in 750R, but since that's not allowed, Serena Rose elected not to participate and instead handed the keys over to Emmy, who owns the Racing Rules team, or at least is listed as such. Technically, it's a satellite of Human Sports, so there's a whole thing with that, but Emmy Angelos is the acting owner, at least, so we'll just go with that. For 8th on Isabel. Passing zones are somewhat difficult to come by at Autopolis. It doesn't seem like they would be, but it's more like the design of the track doesn't really allow you to really capitalize on anything to make up time. And Isabel's getting her elbows out in the slow section. Eric had momentum advantage early. Still can't find a way by the GT. Things are not changing for the top 4, but Ushima is under some big threat from Tomas Pager with a lot of overspeed in the AMG. He's going to look down the inside. Mishima's going to shut the door, bumper to the back of the 765 car, but it will ultimately change nothing. We are watching Tomas Pager try to pass. Missed this, 3 wide with Eric, Stillwell, and Isabel. Isabel's going to set it down the middle of both cars, nearly running Eric off of the road to try and hang on to her relatively advantageous position. Stillwell tried to take a shot at Eric at the next turn, but he will get nothing. He has been absolutely just mugged. Now Isabel's trying to brake test, or just isn't, Eric's just not prepared for her to be going slower. Before I wouldn't be either. That GT is lighter than the F12, and it's mid-engine, so it should be better in those sections. Eric isn't impatient, so I don't know. No contact, but definitely a little argy-bargy between the two of them there. Eric's not exactly one to barge people out of the way. That's how he ends up on Scuderia Fidanzi without the Fidanzi surname. He finally gets by Aspinall and into 7th. Aranto, meanwhile, at some point got by June Summers, but Summers probably still fine to just kind of exist in 3rd. She has quite a distance between herself and the next car along. It seems like it's actually been Reiko Mishima that's been sort of bottlenecking the field. It was June Summers on the first lap, but every lap since has been Mishima, and Eric will just effortlessly deal with Daya on the front straight. Not anywhere near close enough to the 33 car. Isabel is going to also get a spot on Daya. She is obviously aware of, what's at stake here. Pager going again at Reiko Mishima. It's very close quarters here. Looks like Mishima is going to be mugged next, losing 2 places in 1 sector. Eric immediately going for, or looking for something on Pager. Might catch him sleeping on the exit. And that is exactly what happens. So Eric Wojciechowski, 3.5 laps in, finally gets himself to a top 4 spot. Pager's been hungry though, and if Isabel can get anywhere near, that's also going to be a threat. Never mind. Not if she's run into the back of Tomas Pager, she can't. No, actually, no. Mishima ran to the back of Pager, bounced off of him, and thus the F40 was in a spot Isabel wasn't ready for it to be in. But now all 3 of them are damaged. That's going to completely, actually I don't know if that'll really shift any kind of landscape or anything. I don't know how much of an effect that'll actually have, because that's 5th, 6th, and 7th. That'll change who Eric is trying to contend with to stay in the top 4. Or possibly June Summers, if he gets ahead of her, which it looks like that's probably what's going to happen in the near future. He's obviously the fastest car on the track. He ran a 46.8 2 laps ago now. On the glass, okay, never mind, she is faster. Clean air and shit. Alongside, yep, there it is. Aston Martin powerless. With Pager, Mishima, and Aspinall removed from the equation, Emmy Angelos moves into 5th. A pair of Porsches are the only ones really in line to try and steal a top 4 place. And I think the 992 is closing on that Aston Martin, but Daya is just kind of hanging with her at the moment. I don't think Daya really has the intention nor the ability. Well, maybe if Emmy misses the hairpin, Daya might have a chance to pass her, but I think if they fight each other, they both mess each other up and both cost each other any odds of passing the 707 car. It's pretty spread out at the front. Wanda Glass seems like she is pretty safely going to win this race. She effectively took it at turn 1 and has not looked back at all. Eric might get up to Jock Aranto if he's quick about it. But the bigger story is who's going to get that 4th spot. Eric and Aranto would be fighting for starting 6th versus starting 11th. This is about to be a fight for starting 16th versus not starting. June administers a block on Emmy, desperate to try and keep that 4th spot. I don't think it's going to be enough. Down the inside goes the Hot Topic Porsche. And there it is. Emmy Angelos subbing, so to speak, for Serena Rose is going to get that car into 4th place. I'm not sure how we're going to rule that. I know we're definitely going to count car number 480 as being in the championship if things finish this way. I don't know if it's not been decided if we're going to force Serena to drive her own car or if we're going to allow Emmy to remain a substitute driver for it. And meanwhile, Eric, alongside the 57 car, Aranto's not going to give him much room. Wanda Glass in the picture, but not in the equation, I'll say. Aranto defends down the hill. Eric is going to eat that for breakfast, still going the long way around. And he is not through. They're still too wide. And Aranto backs out of it. He cannot continue holding that kind of momentum. Eric could because he had the better line. But Wojciechowski will steal 2nd in the last section of turns. No answer, though. No time left to answer Wanda Glass, who is the fastest car and wins from the front row. Eric P2, Jock Aranto 3rd, and the substitute Emmy Angelos claims 4th place, thus putting Racing Wolves into the Challenge Series World Championship before Demon Sports proper. Mainly because there's no Demon Sports representation in this race at all. It is the next day for both the Challenge Series competitors and also for myself, as recording interruptions abound. I think they were probably picked up on the mic towards the end of the first part there. But, yeah, it is literally 24 hours later, but I am back. It's going to be like 20 seconds later for the viewers. It is time for Tuesday's qualifying round, which takes us to the Middle East, to the Yas Marina circuit. There's actually a marina back there. I've never known that. Despite how many times I've seen that little preview shot, I've never actually noticed there's water. Weird. And off we go from Yas Marina circuit. Mika Harris gets the launch off the line she needs. She's going to, once again, steal the lead from the front row, heading through turn 1, just as Wanda Glass did yesterday. And she was able to convert that move to a victory. We'll see if Harris has the same luck today. Convening with the other admins, it was actually decided against any kind of suspension. Definitely heavy probation, and if Mika is caught doing something stupid again, especially without cause and without concern, then she will be sitting out, even if she qualifies out of this race. At which point, whoever came 5th in this race would be moved up, if she were to qualify. Nilu and Ryza swapping places multiple times in the first sector. Hello, Kurt Wilde. Holy crap. He went for it all, and he is going to get it all. I don't know where he was at the start of that straightaway, but he is into the top 4 with that late maneuver, or late braking maneuver. Nilu will go in hot pursuit of the 32 car. Oh boy. Let's see if there's more bullshit today. And Kurt will attempt to hold station against his own brother in the background, in the Viper. And speaking of hoping for no bullshit, moving into 17th possibly on Stephanie Kaiser is the POV car. Buck Angelos in the camouflage Dodge Demon with the very, very far away camera shot that's not helping us look at the car. There we go. Not that you haven't seen it before, despite it being camouflage, it sticks out. Gonna go around the outside of, actually that's just a bunch of cars that are pitting for various accordion effects that have taken place at the different chicane or turn 1 or the hairpin, maybe even the final sector under the hotel. There's a myriad of slow corners, and you could get damaged at just about any one of them if somebody misses their spot. Things unchanging at the top 4 as we head onto the back straight for the second time. We don't actually see these two too often, so I'm not exactly sure what their specs are like, but I know Mark Wilde is under big threat from Brian Ice in the Murcielago. The Murcielago is one of the best cars in this category, and I'm not just saying that because it's the one I drive. Nilu down the inside of Mika Harris, that's for the race lead. Harris does not make too much of a fuss out of it. Maybe she's in a better mood today, and Brian Ice will do the same with Mark Wilde. He still needs one more to make it to a transfer spot, though. He needs to get ahead of Kurt, or whoever Kurt passes. Move to the start of lap 3. Buck is going to go for 8th on Cam, and he will go by. Just better horsepower in the Demon. There's 1,000 or so of it, so I would hope. Not a vehicle that'll be great in the endurance races, though. Bumper to the back of the 882. Notario just kind of got in Buck's way, and it was a bit of a push to overtake, but nothing much, nothing egregious. Then under the back straight again, we'll see if Ice can overtake the second Wild brother, and it looks like he will do that, possibly more. Kurt moves to block. Riza then also moves to block. They're boxing in the Murcielago as Kurt moves into 3rd, so now it's Riza under threat. Buck Angelos arrives. He's going to be looking for a top 4 spot. Ice is going to be, well, put on ice right there. And Riza with huge oversteer. I think Kurt Wilde did the same. Buck gets ahead of the SLS, so that will put him in a transfer spot 2.5 laps into the event. For insult to injury, Riza will potentially lose another spot to the Murcielago of Brian Ice. He is forced the long way around, and that's not easy to manage in any car around there. And the Murcielago is through. So Ice has just been knocking on heaven's door this whole time. And now things get real spicy. Mika versus Buck for, I don't know, maybe the 7th time. Probably the 4th or 5th this season alone. Huge slide for the Demon. Buck's gonna lose time saving that. We'll tap to the back of the 32, no actual damage. I don't expect it to end there, though. Nice missed shift, Buck. Bumper to the back of the 32, barges her out of the way. That does damage the GT, does not damage the much heavier Dodge Demon, though. And if that's all we see from today, then that's honestly deserved. Because that's just going to damage Mika's car, it's going to put her outside of the top 4. Kurt Wilde's also going to give her a bump. That's ill-advised. That's a $20 million rear bumper. Somehow they've both caught up to Buck as he had a really bad hairpin. So here's Mika's perspective. Braking for the hairpin. Buck tries to lay apex. Mika just kind of gets pushed into it by Kurt Wilde. Buck has to save the car and shows his displeasure on the exit by dooring Mika on the straightaway. That, or he was still out of control. Mika then gets split 3 wide by both Brian Ice and Kurt Wilde. Buck has to take avoiding action of all 3 supercars, outbraking him at the chicane. And just like that, he finds himself no longer in a transfer spot, back down to P5. And Ice suddenly up to P2. battle for the top 3 spots, really. Oh, there's more contact. Oh, boy. There it is! Huge dump and run from the 32, and that is a totaled 4GT right there. She tries to get going again, but the suspension damage is way too bad for her to continue the race. And if I recall correctly, the race was called at 7:19. So contact made with Mark Wilde and Buck on the way out of this hairpin, but doesn't really matter. Let's get a more clear view of everything that went on right here. So Buck, once his vehicle gets spooled up, he has the run. Mika moves over into him, nearly spins the Demon. He has to lean on her to keep the car going forwards, and Buck is understandably not happy again. Once again, I mean, I guess technically Buck hit first, but Buck didn't turn on a straightaway. It's not clear if he was sideways coming out of the hairpin before or not. But I do think he did hit her on the way out of a corner. But that's different from 2/3 of the way down a long straightaway, turning across his nose at, or really just barging into him, aiming for his quarter panel at 165. Yeah, he's not really sideways, or he is sideways here. He's not trying to run into her. It just takes him a moment to gather this car back up because it's effectively a land yacht. And now is when Buck is pissed. Takes her out. There's plenty of runoff. Maybe one of the more egregious maneuvers Buck has performed in terms of overall danger, but there's so much runoff out here that even with the amount of impact that Buck dished out to the 4GT, never got to any kind of wall. The only contact made was between the two cars. So it's hard to really say that he endangered her. Buck is just really good at taking people out of races in ways that don't harm them. But, yeah, the race was called, here, effectively. And so, on official count, your top 4 are Nilu, Brian Ice, Kurt Wilde, and Riza Stout, who managed to sneak back into the top 4 in the chaos after Buck and Mika took themselves out of the equation. Right place, right time for the SLS, and that's going to get her into the championship picture. Deep Forest hosts Wednesday's qualifying race. It is very, very foggy here. Later in the evening, and of course we're in kind of a warmer forest out here, so yeah, this kind of mist is not surprising. You can't even see the end of the tunnel, and there's an external view of, yeah, super overcast, super cloudy, no rain, you know, because it can't rain here in this game for some reason. It's fucking Switzerland. But definitely visibility issues await the drivers today. Off we go from Deep Forest. They're almost 4 wide over the start line as Isabel jumps from 3rd to the lead before braking for turn 1. Taro, who was the pole sitter, got an awful launch, as Hellcats are known to do, really. Tyler did benefit, but is going to lose second to Noir very quickly, and I am very concerned. Very concerned as to where this is going to go from here. Are we going to see some contacts again between these two that have had so many run-ins this season? And it's not clear how much malice or ire still remains between the two of them as we head towards the closing weeks of the season. In the back 40 here, we find Francesca Ferranti, this race's focus car. I find gas, apparently. I also find myself not running very well, and with damage, because I ran into the back of somebody. I don't remember who. I don't think it damaged whoever it was. I want to say it might have been Fuck, I don't remember, dude. We do have surprisingly a debuting car in the race. That's not what I want to look at. Benny Axton in an R35 is going to make his effectively first and possibly only start of the season, and he's going to spend it running into the back of Ashley Akemi. So, not a great first impression from him, I must say. 13th for Francesca, coming up on another member of her family battling with a different Lamborghini, two Aventadors fighting for 10th. And Farah will temporarily win that. Miles going to come back at her, but is stuck the long way around. I don't think that'll work. Oh, contact. Oh, that's a sideways F8. Oh, no. Oh, big damage. Oh, my God. And you see the hazard lights. Fidanzi declares her vehicle totaled, signaling that she has survived this encounter with multiple walls and multiple cars, but I don't know if that F8 can really say the same. Get a look at how this actually came to be. After the long right-hander, Ellie was going for a run on Milo, backed out of it, but did so by jamming the brakes, which Francesca was just not ready for, and from there she was a passenger getting swatted around like a fly. Very ugly sequence of events triggered by what seemed like a relatively innocuous, but it is Ellie braking on a straightaway, and yeah, Francesca lifted, but could not get into the empty space and could not get onto the brakes quick enough. And the rest, as they say, is history. Into Ellie, into the wall, into Akemi, into Axton. Logan's left with nowhere to go. He goes for a bit of a ride. He spins all the way around and finds the outside wall here at this downhill left. So his vehicle's also going to be not quite totaled, but we have a caution. And yeah, the race was called right at 2:22. Not called, but, you know, paused. So that leaves Logan, Axton, Akemi, and Ellie with big damage. Let's get a point of view from Ashlyn Chambers here, who drove straight through the middle of the crash. Got away with murder. Not really, but you know what I mean. Got away with something. And the visibility does not help, obviously. All of the fog, yeah. Red Sea for the driver of the Dodge Demon. She manages to get away scot-free. There are not many like her, as Thrasher got... the crash was already really over by the time Thrasher got here. I believe same could be said for Hammer in the AMG. So we are going to attempt to rack them up. I fully expect to see Logan as the POV car for the restart, as that is significant damage to that Corvette. And we are green once again from Deep Forest. Wayne Hansen, all-wheel drive advantage to the highest degree. He might have the lead. He started 5th on the restart. And a little bit of argy-bargy between him and Aspinall, but the Murcielago's away. He will lead us out of turn 1. Noir and Hansen both struggling for grip through the S's. The track surface is probably very cold despite it being, well, you know, not even despite of it. It's cold. It's very cold here right now. And the low-hanging moisture in the air, and it being late in the evening because, yeah, it is now basically nighttime. I don't have a clock in my vehicle. Never mind, I totally do. It's 9:12. Yeah, so it's effectively nighttime. Also, turn 1 Concertina takes me out of the running here as well, so I just kind of took that as the sign that, yeah, no, you're not meant to make it into this cup, Riker. You threw it away last year, you're not even going to get to try this time. And Logan, as I expected, was able to fix his Corvette under the caution period, but at the expense of having to restart in dead last to fix it all. He had more damage than the other cars while also being further back in the running order. But, as we're already seeing, he's up into 9th. You can definitely make up places at Deep Forest pretty quickly, even in just 6 laps. Mark Wilde currently sitting 4th, trying to join his brother Kurt in the World Championship. That would be kind of a surprise. These two aren't even on the same team or anything. Kurt drives unaffiliated. Mark Wilde drives technically under Scorchers. So like Taro Pachano, who is in this race as well, in 10th with front bumper damage. Yeah, just probably broke about where he could, but Milo was braking earlier to back out of the battle against Logan for 9th. Get onto the back straightaway. Tara Fadanzi with a huge corner exit. I think Mark Wilde's a sitting duck with that. Four-wheel drive advantage is not just for the starting grid. Sometimes it's for the exit of a hairpin. Gets a bumper down the inside. Farah would love to make it into the championship. Not only to join her teammate Eric Wojciechowski, who qualified in Autopolis on Monday, but just to gain some prize money, probably to cover the destruction of Francesca's F8, a little while ago, as you just saw. Everybody knows one thing about Scuderia Ferranti, other than their, passion for Italian vehicles, is their empty pocketbooks. Even with consistent funding from Blue Plus, they can never get a good amount of money together, and some would probably say that maybe relying on vehicles like Lamborghinis, Paganis, Ferraris, Maseratis, probably not helping, but I try to tell them that, and they just shooed me away, so looks like Farah Fadan looking for bonus points. She's catching up to Isabel for 3rd, might be trying to get some insurance, as Logan is looking for P6 on Koroleva, so he clearly has the hot hand right now, at least of the vehicles in the back. Wayne Hansen has the fastest lap of the race, but he's also in clean air, and the Murcielago is a very fast car in this category, as well as just obviously in general. Logan clears the Enzo Ferrari before the braking zone, not quite clear on the way in. Koroleva is going to dive down his inside at the hairpin proper. Let's see if she has enough momentum on the way out to stay there. Logan, super huge oversteer as he tries to go up through the gears. And back ahead is the 83. Only needs 2 more spots to get into the transfer spots. That sounds redundant. Onto the back straight, and yeah, Farah Fadanzi is going to go for some bonus points down the inside of the 29 car. Something starting grid position for race 1, so even if you're already in the transfer spots, you do still want to go for passes if you can hack them. And it looks like that is exactly what Fadanzi did. Aspinall lost control on the way out of the hairpin. But it did not look like contact, not to me. It might have been contact, my eyes aren't great, and even the replay camera is subject to the poor visibility at the track. We have it slightly better, but not perfect. Logan, as he tries to follow the 2 cars he must pass to get into a transfer position. What in the world happened to Hansen? How is he falling down? It looks like it's a huge dive bomb from the 07 car. Holy shnikes! Hansen had to just kind of surrender a lane to that maneuver. He probably took in his cap in the car, because that's something he would do, and he's out of control at turn 2. The other Lamborghini in the mix trying to take advantage, but Hansen will place his car well and at least stay in P2. We'll see if Hansen has an answer going on to the back straightaway for that Viper. He should, I would like to guess. In the background, Logan gets ahead of Mark Wilde, a driver that has history with his teammates, mostly Buck. Logan himself has never had to interact with it. So, obviously Logan's got bigger fish to fry. He's trying to get into the top 4. He doesn't for once care for that petty rivalry that he himself didn't even have. Hansen closing rapidly. He might be close enough for a dive bomb of his own if he would like. He does not like. Isabel defends from Logan at the hairpin, so there will be no change in game state here. That's a big slide for the 29 car, though Logan might be poised to take advantage. We head up towards the final lap of the race. Logan's going to try another crazy send on the outside. Tight squeeze, but the 83 is at the advantage. He is into the top 4. He can transfer from here. And now we'll just watch the final lap and see if either of these Lamborghinis has an answer for that Viper. They're both offline at turn 2 again. These two cars don't seem to like that little elevation change right before you turn in. And that seems to be the root of all evil for why they keep missing that corner. Hansen is tailgating that Viper. He's definitely got some plans once we get onto the backstretch. He just has to nail the hairpin and then use four-wheel drive advantage to propel him back ahead of that Viper. Going forward with car number 250, that is a good exit. Slipstream will help too. Oh yeah, he's going to be alongside at the braking point. Down the inside for the race win. Handful of turns to go. Wayne Hansen looks to take it back. Contact made, bumping Noir out of the way. And he is home free. He will get back to the lead. Noir not able to contest from Farah Fadanzi out of braking point. So it will be a Wayne Hansen Deep Forest victory. Noir close second. Farah Fadanzi with a surprise qualification after her nieces? Oh, I'm gonna need to see the family tree again. I think that's Francesca's aunt is Farah Fadanzi. And Logan Cool snipes the last transfer spot. I'd say snipes. He was relatively safe ahead of Isabel, but, you know, it's always a bit of a close call when you qualify with 4th place.